Today we're going to be taking a look at LG's best TV, the LG G5 OLED TV. This is the successor to the LG G4, which was also a premium OLED TV. So what makes this TV special compared to the LG G4 of last year? Well, for starters, there is a new design with the panel itself. It's using the primary RGB Tandem OLED as the panel for the OLED TV. And this is going to allow your LG OLED to have higher color brightness than ever before. And this is an improvement over last year's MLA based panel, and this year they're not using MLA at all. So it's important to note the differences with the panel in mind. So not only do you have a color boost with the LG G5, but you also have a refresh rate bump as well, as this can go up to 165 Hz with VRR, and that is going to be really nice for PC gamers. I'll have more on gaming a little bit later. And you know how I mentioned the color brightness was going to be better on the LG G5? Well, the brightness in general is going to be better on the LG G5 as well. In real world content, this is less noticeable than you would think, but it is brighter than the G4 if you are going to be pushing the content to the maximum. The problem is there's not a lot of content out there that's going to be able to deliver this high brightness level consistently. But the SDR is certainly brighter, so that will be functional for a bright room. We'll have more on picture quality a little bit later. Now I want to go on to the OS and livability. For 2025, LG has made a big number of changes for the AI functionality with this TV in mind. This is a growing trend within the TV manufacturers, but whether or not this is going to be useful for you is really going to depend on the type of person you are and how much you rely on using some of the AI information. If you're somebody that doesn't like to fiddle with your picture modes, it also does have the AI picture wizard this year, just like previous years, and that has improved for 2025. But for the most part, I don't think many people should be using this, and you should probably just operate off of the given picture modes that the TV comes with. There is something for everybody, in my opinion. I will say that one downside that I found with the AI is the AI Picture Pro. It just seemed like it was too indecisive half the time. It was going to scrub away fine details, and half the time it was going to oversharpen the details. So I didn't know exactly why this was performing this way, and it didn't seem like it was a fully baked feature. And that's how AI Picture Pro has been for me for the last couple of years when I've tried it out. So hopefully in the future they can work more with these AI algorithms and try to get them to work better, because right now I'm not a big fan of the AI Picture Pro. I would turn it off. One of the things about this TV that I'm not a big fan of either is going to be the webOS functionality. This is going to be the menu systems that you have with your TV. This is your operating system. And I think that the webOS is just going to really feel outdated for some people. I know for me, this is probably one of the clunkiest UIs that you can have on a TV. And it really is going to be an OS that just feels sluggish at times. And it's a lot of menu diving involved as well. So I think that this is something that is going to turn some people off. But I know a lot of people do like the mouse pointer functionality, and that is back for 2025. But this new remote is probably a step back in my opinion, as it just doesn't feel like it is as functional. For one, there is no more number keys, which is going to make some people mad that are looking for those number keys. And the fact that they've changed the input button to be like integrated with the home button, where you have to click and hold it in order to get your inputs to pop up, is kind of a pain in the butt. And there's also going to be another home button, which can be kind of confusing, and you're not really sure which home button does what. Now, first and foremost, before we get into picture quality, I do want to let you guys know that I did go out and buy this TV myself, and this is going to be something that I do on this channel quite often when it comes down to reviews. It's definitely expensive, but if you want to help support the channel to help us make more future videos just like this, the best way that you could do so is by buying your next TV using one of our affiliate links in the description below. Thank you guys so much for your support. Now let's continue on with the rest of the video. Alright, let's get into picture quality. So the picture quality of this TV is definitely really good when it comes down to watching TV, movies, or playing games. And it does have everything you want out of a premium OLED. You have the brightness, and you actually have some pretty good color coming out of the LG G5 as well. There is some things with the processing that may be hit or miss for some people. Some may think that it's over processing the image a little bit too much. Others may like this image and think that it's a really nice processed image. It really just depends on how you look at the TV and what kind of style you like when it comes down to TV. If you're more of a purist, I think that this TV may not be the best TV for you personally. It just does feel like it is over sharpening things a little bit too much. In some cases, in some movies, I've noticed some film grain just is more pronounced with this kind of strategy in mind that LG is doing. So I don't know if it's something that will or will not bother you. It really depends on the kind of person you are. And like other OLED TVs from LG in the past, there's some posterization as well. So there's still that going on with the processing. It's not something that I think a lot of people are going to notice and nitpick and really have a hard time with. So I don't really want to knock it too much because, yeah, it's not the best processor when it comes down to the premium OLED TVs, but it is going to get the job done for the most part, and it's going to look great in your living room if this is the one that you choose. If you're somebody that is more of a purist, I think there are better TVs than this. I think the Z95B is a better TV than this using the same exact panel, and I think the Bravia 8 Mark II is a better movie watching TV than this as well. But it does have really good color despite not being a QD OLED. I was really impressed with the LG G5's color. It's not quite on the same level as a QD OLED, but man, it's getting very close. And I think that LG did a really good job of getting this color to come out and give you really good color presentation overall. It is definitely better than it has been in the past, so big props to LG for that. Now when it comes down to brightness in both HDR and SDR for watching TVs and movies, this TV definitely will deliver and you will have a great experience overall. If you are in a bright room, this is a great TV for a bright room. This is the brightest OLED TV that LG has ever made, and it definitely shows in real content as well, especially when you are watching SDR and you really need to crank it up for those bright room situations. In HDR, it does a really good job with its tone mapping as well, and you are going to get really good presentation out of the HDR with this TV. In my opinion, it's not the best HDR TV that you can buy, but it is definitely one of the brightest HDR TVs you can buy. So that's the movie and TV side of things. Let's move on to gaming. When we're talking about gaming on the LG G5, we're definitely talking about 165 Hz capability. So if you're somebody that is going to be gaming on a PC, this has to be on the top of your list, very close to the S95F. I think it's definitely between those two for the best PC gaming TV, and really it's going to be your preferences that let you decide which one is better than the other. I think that the SDR performance in game mode is a little bit worse than the S95F, and overall the HDR experience is going to be a little worse because of the color brightness. But that's not to say that the LG G5 is a slouch in gaming. It's definitely not, and it's splitting hairs for the most part when it comes down to game mode. I really think that the G5 is a great gaming TV, and you can't go wrong with this TV if you choose it for gaming. Now before we get into competition, I do want to talk a little bit about the sound quality of this TV. I think the sound quality overall is okay, and this is something where I do highly recommend getting a soundbar. The LG G series has had the same type of sound for the last couple of years, and this is one where I think they definitely need to find upgrades in this TV because the sound is just not that great for this type of TV for the price that you're paying. So definitely, if you are getting this TV, get a soundbar. Now on the topic of competition, I definitely want to say that the LG G5 has an ace up its sleeve in terms of some value that the other TVs just can't quite offer. And the first thing is going to be that 5-year panel warranty. You have that with the LG G5. That's included with the price tag. Also included with the price tag is a wall mount in the box. So if you're going to wall mount this TV anyway, this is going to be a good look for you in terms of the TV that you're looking for. I think that the LG G5 presents a pretty good value overall. And not to mention, over the last couple of weeks, I've seen the sales and it looks like LG is definitely more aggressive than any other company when it comes down to pricing. So there's a chance that this could be the cheapest OLED TV in that premium category. And for that, with that value proposition in mind, with the G5 having the 5-year panel warranty and the wall mount in the box and it being the cheapest premium OLED, it's a good value for a lot of people. And when you're looking at this TV compared to the G4, the price difference isn't that huge, but is it worth it over the G4? I think if you're valuing brightness and you're valuing that exaggerated picture look, then yes, I would grab it for those reasons. But if you're somebody that's on the other side and you're looking for this as something that's going to be more reference based, you're going to probably want to either look at a different TV or look at the LG G4. I think the G4 is just more refined overall, but it doesn't have as much brightness capability and the color brightness is lacking. I think this is a tricky TV to evaluate because I love the G5 on one hand, but I like the G4 just a little bit better on the other hand. And it's really just coming down to the type of person you are at the end of the day, because I could see it for both people. And honestly, if I'm recommending this TV to most people, it's probably going to say get the G5 over the G4, unless you are in this really specific category. I do want to make this clear though, if you can get an 83-inch LG G4 and it's the same price as the LG G5 and 77-inch, definitely get the 83-inch G4. I promise that size difference is going to mean so much more than that little performance difference that the G4 and the G5 have between each other in real content. So when we're talking about competition, then ultimately price may decide that for you when you're talking about the competition, because we are splitting hairs. I do think that personally this is the 4th best premium OLED TV, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad TV. Yes, I think the Bravia 8 Mark II is a better TV, but not by a ton, and it's not as bright as the G5 overall. So if that's what you value more, then maybe you like this a little bit better. I like the S95F over the G5. But if you're somebody that doesn't like the matte coating on the S95F, then maybe the G5 is going to be something you gravitate towards more. And then there's the Z95B, which uses the same exact panel, and it has a better sound system built in overall. So that is something that if you're looking for built-in sound, definitely the Z95B. And when it comes down to watching movies, I thought the Z95B was a better experience overall. But was it by a big gap? And the answer is no, not really. They both had similar characteristics, and it was really just the personality of the TVs that kind of separated them. I thought the Panasonic was a better TV out of the box, but the G5 wasn't too far off, and if people pick the G5 over the Z95B because it's cheaper, I don't blame them at all, because it's a really good value overall. And the value is a big part of why this TV gets a 9 out of 10 for me. I think it's an awesome TV, it's a great premium TV, and you can't go wrong with this TV if that's what you end up picking. So while it's not the best, I do think it is one of the best. And that's why I really like the G5. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your answers. And if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask me. And if you want to keep watching TV reviews, check out this one right here. I think you'll like it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.